Go ahead, Trish. Tell us about the orchids. She's in heaven. This is her happy place.
I'm being a little bit selfish these days. I don't feel like taking pictures or videos to share just because. I'm just enjoying some of these moments. It's hot outside. I'm getting out more. I'm enjoying nature. I'm seeing all the beauty. And I just want to be present in it all. See, I almost broke the avocado tree. It was a beautiful Sunday morning, and we decided to go to the beach. And it was the perfect opportunity for me to grab my art bag and indulge, breathing in that crisp sea air. Mm. So, we're going to get into paper and what I've learned over these few months, because that's how long I've taken up watercolor actually. I started like the end of 2020, I think around November or December. So these are watercolor paper blocks, and I have two kinds of paper here. I have hot press, which is smoother. The texture of the hot press are smoother. So paper quality depends on the weight, and also if it's 100% cotton, and some manufactured are considered better quality than others. This is the Stonehenge. I like the Stonehenge, and I think the prices are reasonable as well. And I am practicing, and it's for me, so it works. So I like these blocks because they stick together, so it stays here until I am finished, then I can take it off. So this is the hot press, and we also have the cold press, which is a rougher texture. So I have something sketch here to work on. So this is a rougher texture. I have yet to paint on this cold press from this brand. I've used the hot press several times. I love it. I actually used the hot press to do my moon grid calendar, and I'm yet to experience the cold press, but yeah. So I have Joe. The problem I find with blocks, or the blocks are not so bad, but the book, like the Canson, is it Canson or Canon? I think it's Canson. I started with those water color paper first. They are a cheaper version, and you can also pick them up at Walmart and Amazon, about anywhere. But then you have to find somewhere to put the paper. And so I have like this thing filled with pieces of paper, of things that I've finished, things I've yet to finish. I've yet to paint that one. So I'm gonna show you what this is on the Canson paper. So now I'm going to show you. I will do some ink work here. My solution for all my little pieces of paper. Books, books, journals. I love me some watercolor journals. These first two ones that I'm about to show you are in my travel art backpack, and I like doing ink, so with this book I do ink work in there. And this is, it just says handbook. What is the brand? I don't remember the brand of this one. And so this paper is not watercolor paper, but it does take light washes off watercolor, which is good. And why I love like art journal is that everything is one place. I don't have to find place to put them, and when I'm ready I can just get my book, flip through, I can scan if I want to scan. Now this is this paper stock is heavy and can take water. I think this is a mixed media paper by Stillman and Byrne, and this is the Better series. They have like different Becca, Zeta, Alpha, I think, yeah. But I like this one because it can take beautiful, I love this mixed media paper because it makes beautiful illustration. This sticker is from our Moon Garden sticker collection, which is on Etsy. This one I made, you can tell by how it looked, and I like coming in here and testing different techniques, different color combination, swatches, different ideas. Just this one, I don't care to mess it up or how it looks, and I'm just free flowing, and we need to be like that in all our journals, because that's it. It's just a process, you know, for us. This is my very first journal, and I love this one. I like this brand as well. But this happened. I have to go glue that back. And this is by Reflection. This is my nature journal. It is the same brand like the green one I showed you first. And in this one, I have like the months and the dates, and on that day, I will come and document what I see. You can see all these pages are blank because I started this nature journal in March, the week of the 7th to the 13th. And so I just documented what I see, what's in bloom at that time of the year, and like next year when I come to make a journal entry again, you know, I will see what's going on. So then you do that year after year until you fill your book, and then you start a new one. And I think it's a cool way to get me to practice, to draw, to do more, to observe what's in nature, and to documentate it. And I'm practicing at the same time. So yeah, this is why I love journals. This is my most recent find that I found on my last trip to Key West. This is my first and only entry so far in this book. This is a handmade journal, and the papers are handmade as well, and they can take washes of watercolor, so I was excited for that. And I bought a bunch of them and hoard them because yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna find this gem again, and it was on sale. So if I knew what I knew now, if I knew it then, I would have mostly just gotten a journal. I say I want to start out and I'm new and I don't want to jump in and spend all this money and try all these things, I will get a Stillman and Burn uh, book and use it as my art journal book. If I'm into washes and inks, perfect. If I'm only into inks, or if I'm into inks, then I'll recommend this book. It just says handbook on here, but I'm pretty sure it has another name. I'll try and link it down below if I do find it. But yes, I would have just gotten these two and test the waters out, see how I like it first before I commit and purchase anything that is more one thing to note in your journals, that it is for you. It is like any other journal that you're writing down stuff into. You're not worried about how neat and tidy and how perfect it looks. Like, it's just for you. It's for you to go back. It's for you to see how you've progressed throughout the year. So when you're making entries in your art journal, just relax and enjoy the process, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like, I had this mixed media paper that I picked up at Ross. It was my actual first paper that I got before I knew anything about paper. I just knew that, oh, I'm into watercolor. I'm going to Ross. I'm gonna pick me up some supplies. I'm gonna test them out and see what is what. And this was my first set of flowers that I was testing out different techniques at the time. And if you compare this now to what I'm doing, you know, it's night and day, and I can see how much I've progressed. But chances are a couple of years from now I won't know, because these pieces of paper will be rumbled up somewhere. But if it was in my journal, it would have been there. You know, it's not going anywhere. So this is why I'm so passionate about journal, for stuff for you to keep and for you to look back at, to compare it to books or papers. So yeah, that's it for me on the papers that you're gonna purchase for this year. New, ooh, I'm into watercolor or I'm into art, and I want to express, you know, because it's a way of expressing and being creative, you know. So those are the things that I've learned and what I've been using and what I recommend. And now we're gonna look at pencils, pens, eraser, because it is just as important as the paper. Um, to make your life as easier as possible. So for pencil, I like graphite pencil. Let's see here. This is a Faber Castell. This is their graphite pencil, and I like this one because let me show you. If you look closely, you'll see that when the water touches the pencil mark, it just blends right into the artwork. It doesn't leave a harsh line. So that's why I've been loving these graphite pencils. But I also find new loves along the way. sometimes it helped just to be free, flowy, and messy, and not so much in control. That's the whole beauty of watercolor, is to allow the water to flow and to not have so much control over what you're doing. And these are on, I'm painting on a Fabriano postcard watercolor paper. And right here I'm just using what was left on a old palette. So this is why I love that pencil. You can see right here how, you know, it bleeds in, and the more I apply and go over it, I can blend out those arch lines, or they can have like this cool effect on whatever I'm doing. I also have these pencils. I think these are from Faber-Castell as well. Oh, this is from Mono. This is from Tumble. This is the first pencil. I like sketching with these. If you want to sketch before you do your ink work over it, or you can just sketch with your ink pen. It just depends on how comfortable you are with what you're doing. And these are from Faber-Castell as well, and these are just regular like pencils. For a pen, I like, I don't see my red pen here, but let's talk about these because I use these a lot, even though here's my red pen. I love this pen right here. I love fine liner pens. You see how tiny that is. So I've switched to this one, but I have a lot of the microns, and I do use the microns, and I also use ink. So these are the pens or the microns. I mostly use these for my ink work, and I also got some colored pencils to try. I haven't tried these yet. I got lavender to see how I like these, you know, when I sketch things out, and then watercolor over them. I have some white jelly pens as well, and I love fountain pens. I love old school things. If we can turn this into a pen and pick up ink and write with it, I'm all about it. For eraser, my all-time favorite eraser is a Vanish. They call it a 4-in-1, I think, because it erases. It doesn't rip the paper. It takes up pencil mark pretty awesomely, and it also clean up after itself because then it like balls up together. So I love this Vanish eraser because when you're erasing, you want it to be clean as possible, and I don't want it to have a lot of sketchy, scratchy marks. And I just purchased this Mono eraser, and you can see it's very fine to help me get into those creases that I can't get into with this big one, because sometimes I'm working on a piece and it's very complicated, and I want to just get in a little cravats. And this is from Mono too, and this is, I think this is called a sand erase, because this can erase watercolor. Say you go over the line and you want to erase it. I've used it once or twice and I've loved it so far. And the next thing is having a good sharpener to sharpen your pencils. Now we're going to jump into brushes, because brushes are important too. I started off with a brush set from Ross, and to me they're a bit stiff and not flowy. Even though I wasn't an expert, I knew that, you know, there must have been better brushes around, which I knew, but did I want to spend the money for it? Um, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I watch a lot of recommendation, and if I see more than one people recommending a certain brand and stuff, then I will look into it. And then when I go on the site, I also read reviews that are there as well. So let's see. If I was a beginner, I already recommend the books and art journals. And the next thing I would recommend is a water brush. I've seen people done big work, finish work with just, no, not with just this, but mostly this, and then they would go in with like a fine liner brush for details. But yeah, a water brush, you fill here with water and you just start painting wherever you are. And this is in my travel journal as well. I have one in my travel journal, not travel journal, my travel bag, my travel art bag. I have a water brush there as well. I have a water brush that I take to work with me in my regular bag. So yeah, and then my brush of choice that I like is the Princeton Neptune brushes, and I have these in all kind of size. I have 8, I have a size 6. I think I mostly use the 4, which is right here, because it's a nice, yeah, size 4. It's a nice in-between size. This is what I was using to demonstrate the leaf just now. And if I have like bigger areas, then I'll go up, you know. And then I also have like these fine liner brush for details, and these are all synthetic hairbrush. And I've recently picked up some Japanese calligraphy brushes, and these are not synthetic. The areas in these can be like rat hair, squirrel, all kind of rodents. So these are not synthetic. And the verdict are still out on these. I've used 1 or 2, and I like them. And I also, when I'm traveling, if I feel the need to bring more than my watercolor brush, I will also bring some of these. And I think they're kind of cool looking, you know. I like these. So for brushes, for beginner, I recommend a watercolor brush. And if you want to step it up a little notch, I'll recommend. I was gonna say recommend and represent at the same time. Recommend. I don't know. The Princeton Neptune brushes. I just got these ones. It's like the 20-0. It's like the tiniest of tiniest. Now we're gonna jump into paint, which is like this whirl of never-ending colors, and it's very hard to choose a color. And each brand, when they make a color, they might make the same color, like it has the same name, but on paper it is so much different. So you have to be strong when it comes to buying paint. My media of choice is watercolor. You know, you have acrylic, you have, I also use gouache. It's either gouache or gouache. I'm not, or maybe none of those, but I pronounce it gouache. So I use watercolor and gouache. But you have acrylic, you have oil, you know, a lot. You have acrylic gouache, you know, but it's hard. I'm even now looking into making my own paint. That's how bad it is. So my first watercolor, like or professional kind of watercolor, was from Arteza. Not was it? It is from Arteza. And I'm somewhat of a neat freak. I'm trying to get over that, and that's why I've just, like, this is clean, but I've just now started using like these areas because I wanted it to be so clean, and you know, but then I kind of, as the months pass, I let go of that. So this is my Artista set. These down here is not a part of the set. I got this as a gift, and I think they purchased it from Amazon. And these are awesome. These are great color, but I find them to just be great colors. I don't find them to, have that little vroom vroom. But if you just want regular colors to mix paint vibrancy, I like this set, and I do use my set. This bottom row here is when I started getting into buying paints in tubes, and I purchased pans and fill it in for what I did not have. Like, say for instance, this Arteza set did not come with white, so here you see I purchased white, titanium, different tones of red, and color that I think I might like. So that's where this line started from. So, and it's good to have, like with my sets, to have swatches. This way I can see the colors and choose what color I want to use. So from that, I decided to build my own palettes with colors that I like, colors that I handpicked, that I chose. And if I knew what I knew, I would have definitely went this route instead of getting like a pre-selected color set for myself. But trial and error, and you can never have too much colors. So this is a set that I'm building. You can see I still have a row empty, but these are all colors that I've purchased throughout the year in tubes and that I've built, and I think are pretty cool colors. So this set mostly contain like Winsor & Newton and a lot of Danielle Smith. These next few sets are handmade watercolor. My sets look dirty, don't mind that. Dusty at that. Handmade watercolor that I've purchased on Etsy. These right here, this row, and some of these. All of these in here are colors that I've made so far. These are my watercolor that I made. I have some things in here from Watch Me Mix Stuff. I also have something here from Bridget Creates, Bridget something, and some in here from KMH. Yeah, this brand is KMH. I love her stuff, but I don't think she's taking orders at the moment. But these are all handmade watercolor that I purchased on Etsy. These right here, they're very special because these are earth pigment. These are not synthetic pigment. These three right here, they are earth pigment. Some of these that I've made too are earth pigment, but I purchased this on Etsy, and it is earth pigments that were forage forage, meaning that they go out and they collect rocks and stones and bricks and break them down, extract the pigment, and use it to make watercolor. These are like my magical paints. Like, these are all iridescents and glitters, and yeah, and all of these are from Watch Me Mix Stuff. I love her magical paint selections of golds and silvers, and yeah, look at them go. This is the same here, and it's from Watch Me Mix Stuff, and these are like some iridescent undertone colors. You can see them with the shifting of the light. And my most recent one is from Alona Creates, and it's her tropical palette, and oh my goodness, the colors on these are just beautiful, like so pretty. So that is it for paint. So you're a beginner, I would recommend getting a little kit like this. You know, this is new. I purchased this to go into my art bag that my regular bag that I bring with me. But you see, it has all the colors that you need, and if it doesn't have a color that you need, you can mix it with the colors that are in this palette. You know, so if you're a beginner, I would recommend picking up like a Winsor & Newton little kit like this. I think this is like, was it 15 or 25? But it's not that expensive, and this is like just perfect if you're just starting out, if you're testing the water, if you're not sure, if you don't want to commit and spend too much. So I also mentioned that I use palette to mix my paints on, and I like the ceramic palettes over the plastic. And I don't like plastic overall. From a child, I never liked eating or drinking out of plastic. I've had expensive taste from a very long time. You know, it's just instilled in me. But yeah, I like ceramic because I can just wipe these out or just rinse them off. So I will normally mix my colors and my paint on something like this and keep my pan clean. But these days I'm realizing that I'm messing up my pan. I also have these, and what I like with these over that is that you just saw me blowing off all kind of dust. These are open, and when I go back to use these paint, because you know it's watercolor, they can reactivate, it's dusty. With this, they're stackable, and you see it has a lid, so when the paint dries up, I just cover it and I put it away. When I'm ready to use it, I just take off the lid and use it, and it's not dusty. So do with that what you may. So I've covered paper, pencils, brush, watercolor, like everything that I've known up until now on this journey, because I'm learning on the daily. Where do I buy most of my supplies? I get them from Jerry's and also Bleaks. I find Bleaks online to be cheaper than Bleaks in store. When I go in the store, it's a bit more pricier compared to when I buy online. And with both Jerry's and Bleaks, if you spend over a certain amount, you get free shipping. I think it's like $45 for Bleaks and $50 for Jerry. Jerry's just went up. It used to be in the 40s. So I like both of them. I've also purchased things on Amazon. And where else? My paints, my handmade paints, I purchased from Etsy. And so that is where I buy most of my supplies. Inspiration is all around me, because each person is going to be inspired by different things. People like to paint different things. You know, some people like to paint botanicals, another set like to do insect, another set like to do birds, you know, animals, and some like sketch people, and it's just endless inspiration. So you have to find out what inspires you. What inspires me at this moment is botanical. I love drawing flowers. I just love nature on a whole. I'm trying to draw insects and I'm practicing. I don't think I'm the best at it, but I'm just being hard on myself. But I'm practicing how to get into insects. But botanicals, I can sit and just draw a leaf all day long. So I'm inspired by what I'm seeing, and my yard is very inspirational for me. I don't have to leave my yard. There are endless possibilities around here for me to sketch. So with watercolor, you have to build. You have to build it up. So less is more. You can go with like a very light wash or very concentrated, but it's best to like build it up in layers. You know, commit to even one piece for a week. Like each day you just go in and touch it up and build it up until you get to that layer that you want. Remember, you're doing this for you. So perfection goes outdoor. Just relax, enjoy, breathe, and have fun. And yeah, I think I've covered everything in this video. Also need a jug for water, and why not get a cute one? Like when I have cute stuff around me, it inspires me. Like, oh, I just want to go paint. Look at this. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that this video helps you out and that it inspires you to jump in and get into art meditation, because it's really something else. It's really life-changing and just amazing all around. To just get lost in something, to get out of your head, to get out of the world, to get out of everything that is happening, because so much is happening so fast and too much at one time. It's hard for us to process anything because we're being hit left, right, and center all the time. So it's good to find something that you can just escape in, and this does it for me. Watercolor does it for me. I can escape in this and just get lost in the process of just putting down little dots on the paper. But my birds are probably telling me that I'm talking too much and I need to shut up because they're trying to outspeak me at the moment. Thanks so much for watching. Much love and respect.